Barbarians, what's up? Thank you for passing by. My name is Phil and I am from Mints and Drops. Today I'm having the pleasure to receive on the show no other than my brother Ray and Ninja from After Dark Social Club. Gang, man, let's go. They are launching this week. They have amazing energy. Those guys are the bomb, man. They rock so much. I wish them well. They come from Salt. They're out here. Enjoy. It's going to be great. Ray, Ninja, After Dark Social Club, what's poppin'?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Extra happy to have you on the show, man. I mean, vibes are going to be immaculate. I already know. And, if we can drop a couple of bars too at the same time, man. Woo.
That's Stealthy's department.
It's going to be
man,
crispy.
that used to be my department back in the day, man. I don't know if I still got it in me.
You were actually doing it like in the music industry or just for out of fun or?
No, just I used to like basically rhyme on like an online internet forum.
Wow.
Back in college. Yeah, it was nothing special. Some of those guys turned out
special.
to be big deals, but not me. I was not I was not destined for greatness in that path.
Still, man, rhyming is an art, sometimes. Wow, that's really, I didn't know. That's why the bars coming in so easily, right? Wow.
Yeah, man. That's why it's like anything, it takes practice, right? So I feel like I haven't really sharpened my tools in like 10 years, so yeah, nice. I think I lost the spark there, but I still make beats for people that can rap.
Wow, damn! I mean, that's the whole thing. Wow, you should come around. We're gonna because you guys are doing spaces every single morning, right? In the Twitter Spaces.
Yes, sir. Well, Monday to Friday. Weekends are bonus. But we've been keeping it up on weekends too.
It's fun, man. I really, really enjoy those morning spaces. It's a nice time slot, especially for the people on Eastern Standard Time or even on the Central or Pacifics that are just waking up when we're like an hour or two in. It's a nice time slot, just especially because it's mostly just us, chatting shit and having a good time. They're good. We like those. But of course, exactly. Our actual spaces for the project, After Dark project, they take place on Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But yeah,
because that's what. Yeah, I feel that's what people want. They want something that's concrete. So even if you don't necessarily talk about the project, it comes in as a curveball where people are going to ask you, okay, Mints or Total Supply or Launchpad or whatever, but it comes in as who are the humans behind the project, right?
And that's exactly what we found is that the people we think enjoy that just friendly banter and just chatting about life in general. Of course, we're here to field any questions if you have, but it's not the basis of those morning shows, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yes, man. You and I'm just recollecting of how you came into the space, man, and you came in with a bang, man. Honestly, and I've wrote that in DMs, but. You guys could have minted when you came on, like say 2 weeks or so when you came on, up to the point where you came in, up to 2 weeks, you could have minted out. I don't know what's the total supply of the collection you're going to put out. You could have minted out. And I'm sure the same thing will happen March 30th. But
we definitely don't.
There.
We don't disagree. But we've been working on this for so long. That it just it wouldn't make sense to rush any aspects.
Yeah, for sure.
And the other thing is we looked up to certain other projects as well, like Hangry, right? He had his Discord open for way longer than we did, and I think the same thing. He could have minted 6 months sooner, right? But he's also a perfectionist. I know he was taking his time with the art, but I feel like it's just who we are as founders. Like we're the type, we want to make sure everything's right and in the proper place before we roll anything out. And that was just the day when when we knew we would be ready and have everything aligned, because there's a lot that goes into it. If you remember, we had those personalized invites as well to send out.
Yeah.
There was
That
a
was
lot of
great.
things that took a lot of time along the way. But at the same time, yeah, we're here for the long run. So we know people definitely probably wanted to mint sooner. But it's coming. It's coming in 1 week. So
Yeah.
we're excited.
It's all about proper timing too at the same time. And the good example, of course, is Hangry, because he took his time, but at the same time, you guys took, it's like events, right? Where you're just adding layers. So of course it's taking more time, and some wanted to mint earlier, which is totally fine. But I think that the vast majority just understands the move for many reasons, right? If we're not even talking about, how sometimes boring the market is right now, and at the same time, oppositely, where it's never been as popping as it is right now, because many people are building, so many news unfolding right now. But you guys are taking the proper approach, in my opinion.
We appreciate that, man. And you were in there pretty early, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, we definitely anticipated sort of building that Discord out in the community, but man, we caught a wave earlier than we even anticipated, right? So of course we rolled with it, kept the fire burning. But yeah, it was definitely really, really cool, a really cool experience to see that happen. And yeah, man, you were in there early. People were posting your your emojis even like before you got in there. Your emojis are actually hilarious, by the way.
But the Pepe being all hyped up, it's true, man. Because I remember the vibes still are present. That's not what I'm saying. But I remember, joining in. That's fire, and that's the core of your project too. Vibes, hype, and something concrete at the same time. Humans, bringing something that's that's real and that's tangible for everyone. Community based too.
Absolutely. Like even though that it is in all purposes a business, it is still somewhere that Stealthy and I want to be. We want to hang out. We want to be interacting with the community, and we could not ask for a better group and the team members speaking. Like, we couldn't ask for a better team that we've compiled, or the community as a whole. Everybody is just so. It's like, even if we're offline, there's people in there that are willing to do the moderating jobs for us and help people onboard and help people. Okay, this is the token to associate. It's really it's a really nice thing to see, and it's humbling. It makes you feel really good inside.
That's when you've succeeded up to a certain degree, where you can not chill and relax, but you can cross check something and say, okay, I've accomplished something that's really powerful, because that's what you want. That's what you want down the road. And I speak to that very often with one of our bros that we have in common, Vicente. Down the road, when you strip it all, you got to have a community. You have to have powerful people inside, and by power I mean people that care, just that care not only like about you, but about the project, what you're doing, the humans behind, and how you're pushing this entire thing that's called JPEGs. But it goes further than that.
Yeah, and there needs to be, I feel, a certain degree of bringing something new and fresh to the ecosystem that will help to drive that, like you're saying. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Going back to Vicizi and Vicente, doing the things like with the DJ sets, and just incorporating the community and making them feel like this is home, this is family. That's what keeps people around. Usually people come for let's be honest, people come for the idea of making that bag and flipping and whatever, but a lot of the times they end up staying for how fun it actually is.
Yeah, because that's what we need. And the same thing for the spaces that you guys are doing. People want what's real. So, and you guys are providing this at the same time. So there's going to be flippers. There's going to be people long term. There's going to be whatever. That's the whole piece of the pie, right? So yeah, man. I mean, you did it. How big is the team?
So what we got? We got one. Puzzles.
We're literally counting.
It's 5.
We
got, like, not including Stealthy and I, we got like 5 that are official team members, and then the dev working in the background for us.
Well, and then you also have Mike Jaga.
He's included in that 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it's kind of a big team, surrounded. And who's the artist? Who's doing the art? Art is
Oh, I forgot
Bonanza.
about the artist. The artist too. So I got
Oh,
sick. Sorry. So his name is Metapunk.
okay.
He's a really really cool guy. He's actually based out of Indonesia. And
Wow.
funny story, we met him because Stealthy and I, as you know, like we came from, well, hit Stealthy Ethereum first, then Solana, and then he ended up roping me into Solana just because Ethereum was like a little bit too, big fish for me. But we ended up, he caught the one of one bug and just like slowly was pushing it on me. And then eventually I caught the fire and we ended up finding Metapunk, who was a blessing in disguise. As you've seen the art, supremely talented guy, works like, I feel like he's never not working. He's always got, I can tell the story about how we met him. We actually asked him to do a one of one, like in the style that we had envisioned. And this guy came back to it. He came back to us with the fully completed piece within 24 hours. So that's how quickly this guy works.
You wanted it. Wow.
I mean, he got it.
Yeah, not just
Wow.
that. Similar to us, he also works a full-time job too. So he's constantly working, right? Like Web3 and Web2, of course.
Yeah, really,
That's
really
a
impressive.
stretch. That's a stretch, huh? Without doxing yourself, so what's your guys' 9 to 5? What are you doing?
I'm a plumber,
Yeah.
and Stealthy is an order control technician.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. It's a stretch, right? Sometimes when you have to find time for both, and we'll talk about how it was, over Soul, but it's the same thing where it's a wormhole, and the more time you invest in here, it seems like the less time you have because you're adding up layers of knowledge and whatever stuff you got to watch or whatever.
I got a lot of gray hairs in my beard since investing in crypto, man. I'll tell you that.
You're telling me.
Yeah. So how was it over Sol? You guys come from Sol, right?
We did, yeah. So that we came from Sol. Solana right now is not it's not doing so hot, like let's be honest. But it did for me anyways, it taught me the foundations. So
Yeah.
getting into these Solana projects, getting into the Discords, being an active community member, and just learning what the do's and the don'ts are, learning what to look for in a project that is gonna, that you perceive will do well versus one that you see the signs that you don't think are going to do well. And
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't trade that time in Solana for anything. We still have a lot of friends in the Solana ecosystem, and Stealthy especially in Ethereum as well. And yeah, it's like you said, it's building blocks, right? Like we've taken all of these lessons that we've learned from these different chains, and we've tried to apply all of these things and make a giant jigsaw puzzle of the perfect project for us as from an investor's perspective, like what we would want to see entering a Discord, what would make us invest in this, and that's we ran with that.
That's an amazing point because, and I'm really happy, of course, that you guys are here. But again, that I can backtrack this very thought to you guys because, of course, it's this guy right here. It's him. Okay. But we've seen in the last days, in the last 10 days, that we are not perfect, So, and to me, I've always said, like, this is my house, but at the same time, we can 1,000% grow in terms of we can exchange. There's been amazing stuff happening on Sol, and there will still be. Maybe they're a bit down, but they will come back up. And there will be other times where we've been somewhat offline and we came back up. So, I mean, but there are metrics that do not change, and that's humans. That's human relations, like we're having right now. And when you start a project, when you're venturing into this artistic journey, it's special, and that does not change. It's not ecosystem per ecosystem. It's entire pie, in my opinion.
100%. And I feel like you said, it's on a per project basis, right? You have to feel that fire burning inside you, man. You got to have that passion, or it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And I think that's what Stealthy and I really play really well off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like he's able to pick up a lot of the things that maybe I'm not well versed in, and vice versa. So yeah, it's a really, really, it's a brotherhood. Like this guy's like family to me. But at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, family doesn't always equate to good business, right? So it's just a
Yeah.
blessing that we're able to work so well with one another.
Yeah, that's something we were both conscious of and definitely thought about, right? But I will say, like, this project couldn't have a better co-founder. I couldn't have picked somebody better to take on this journey. Like, me and Ray, like he said, we both just meshed so well, and he really, like, he showed me that he's really about this life, right? Like, because obviously, like you had said, right, like, it's a difference between a project where the founders, they don't have, maybe you don't get to interact with them, they don't really have a personality, but we have two people that are just, we're constantly involved and tapped into this space, even if we're not founding a project, we're here every day. And so now there's two of us that are just, we have our ears to the ground, and we certainly, like he said, we benefit off of each other's weaknesses and strengths. And so it's been a powerful team endeavor, and like he also said, it extends to the team itself. Like, the rest of the core team is just supremely important as well in how we got to where we are today. So
being about that life, that's really it, right? Because when you get into that again, it can get crazy. What's the and by the way, big shout out to the ruler.
Absolutely.
What's you guys doing in terms of project, like being in there? You guys are on spaces. Are you guys touching a little bit on devs? Are you doing some UX for whatever? What's the role you guys are playing inside?
So as it stands right now, we obviously, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to, well, you have your picture. So you know that we had the DApp built out, and basically, obviously all eyes and all focus right now is on the mint, on the art, getting everything ready to go, making sure that everything runs smooth. Just the same way as the ruler, huge shouts to the team at Kabila. Adrian, Manu, Rafa, those guys are incredible.
Players.
So our focus right now up until March 30th, March 31st is going to be making sure that everything runs smoothly, making sure we have everything pristine, right? Because obviously you want everything to just be streamlined and seamless. But then after that, as you know, we're having built this digital vending machine, this entity that we called the Chamber, which essentially is going to be, it's going to allow us to ever evolve our first generation of fangs, which is the whole point of this, is to keep it the only generation of the fangs, right? So that's the very, very, very post mint, like I don't know how to properly word this, but directly following the mint, this is what we have being built. It's a long-winded answer. Sorry, I don't know if Stealthy wants to add on that.
No, you nailed it.
I should probably also say about the reliquary, because it is multifaceted. It's not just the chamber. So the chamber, if I could go into a little bit of detail about it, is trait specific. So it's not going to be upgrading the entire NFT. It'll be upgrading on a trait per trait basis. And you can do it to any one of your NFTs as many times as you like. Obviously, whatever layer you decide to remove, you can never get that back, right? But the reliquary, on the other hand, because we know that the chamber is going to cater to people who whale in, people who are more financially willing or able to whale into the project. So we also wanted to make sure that we're able to cater to everybody of all financial situations. So what the reliquary is it's a mystery box, a shuffle, if you will, that will have there's 66 pieces, one-of-one pieces from the After Dark collection, and they will only be available in that reliquary. And it's essentially just like a little, you could call it a lottery. I guess I don't want to use any words that I'm not supposed to, but it's gonna equate to the cost of staking one vampire for 1 day, one fang for 1 day will allow you one spin in the reliquary. So anybody who's a holder will be allowed one free spin a day, essentially.
One free spin a day. Wow.
Yeah, based on how many fangs you have.
That's nice. Wow.
Yeah, based on how
that's
many fangs
great.
you have, right? So if you have 10, you'll be able to spin 10 times, one for every fang.
Wow. That's unique. That's the first time I'm hearing that. That's really nice. How'd you come up with that idea? That's a great idea.
Well, we understand the different demographics that might exist in a collections holders, right? In a projects holders. So obviously we have the numbers on our side of who has what, and maybe we didn't necessarily, essentially, like, we might have not structured it in a way um to target certain demographics had we not seen them flourish before our eyes. So, for example, there's some people that have over 50 platinum passes, which is something we did not anticipate, right? Um, so so of course we definitely wanted to uh, build something that sort of can reward each demographic fairly, right? Because we didn't want it to be so that, well, people who have, maybe they only minted one, maybe they don't have their pass, maybe they sold it. Like, you can't blame people for selling something they were given to free. And so maybe they wanted to, maybe they sell it, mint a few on public, and so those people are holders too. And I think every demographic has its role and importance in the strength of the project as a whole. And so we just wanted to make sure that we kind of ticked every box, so that way people who might have only one of the NFTs that they mint, one of the fangs, then they can still take part and still have a chance at winning one of the one of ones, which we definitely feel will be likely the most sought after reward that's going to be attainable via staking, right? So we definitely wanted to make it so that it's fair for everybody, at least something that everybody wants. They'll all have a fair shot. Of course, the more you have, the more spins you will be able to use, but it's not going to guarantee that somebody who has one fang staked can certainly win. And anybody who's dabbled in Solana a lot, like, they do raffles and stuff, and oftentimes, like, you might go and spend and buy 100 tickets, but it's like the guy that bought 5 that wins. So we kind of like that whole aspect where we can reward those people. And then of course the chamber itself and the traits and upgrading those, that of course will reward people who are a little bit more invested or have accumulated more of the passes, for example. So this way everybody can kind of reap the rewards of holding one or many.
Wow, that's a
Really
great
well said.
circle to have. Yeah, because it's always a fun balance, and sometimes a fragile one. I think that's a great one though, where you have many layers, of course, again, and you want, like you said, you want to reward those going ham. Those just they're still accumulating bars just to unleash on mint day over Kabila, and those who, hey man, I'm just gonna mint one, then two, then I'm gonna stop there, and the other one's is gonna mint 2, 3, 4, 7. Wow, that's a
Yeah,
great, yeah, that's a great angle to it, man.
me and Ray are often those guys that mint like a couple, like, you know what I mean. We're not we usually weren't the type to whale in, and of course, the few times I did decide to quote unquote whale in, didn't work out so well for me in my scenarios. But and then there's ones where I bought one or two, and they might have done well, but I certainly felt in some projects that the holders that had one or two, just they weren't benefiting as much, or almost not even treated as community members, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody's important, right? So we can definitely relate to both sides.
Wow. And there's gonna be staking too, post mint.
Exactly. So that's going to be the basis of I guess the currency, you could call it. It's going to be what's needed in order to make these acquisitions within the chamber or to spin for the reliquary, right? So that also, it makes it multifaceted in the reliquary as well, because yes, you're able to spin once for every fang that you have, but if you've accumulated these tokens, again, rewarding the people who have whaled in, you can spin as many times as you have those tokens for, right?
That's really a great plan.
Yeah, we
Well,
got to
I
make
didn't know.
everybody happy, man. We got
Yeah,
to make
yeah,
everybody happy at the end of the
that's
day.
a great plan. I'm sure they will, 1,000%. We said this was a wormhole before. I very oftenly ask the question about balance, but I mean balance in a way that I'm sure you guys work like 10 hours a day at your fiat mining, what I call it, and 10 hours a day still. Yeah, and 10 hours a day like out here, right? So you sleep 4 or 5 hours, whatever. I ask about balance, but I'm very aware, of course, that this is not balance. But at the same time, you can find peace into that. How do you find yours out here?
That's a really good question. I guess for me, luckily, like my full-time job, it's very mindless.
Yeah.
It's a very simple job, and I have the freedom
Which is
where
fine. Yeah.
yeah, I'm driving around to different places, and it's like I'm opening a box, unscrewing a bottle, screwing a new bottle in, closing the box, moving on to the next call. So it's actually really beneficial for me because while I may be at work, I'm still very present on Discord, on Twitter. I can still hop in spaces for the
Oh, that's
most
cool.
part. It depends
Yeah.
on what my day is like. But I really look at this as my full time job because this is my passion. That's sort of, you know, like you said, it's fiat mining. I think obviously, like I would love to dive full time into Web3. I really value reliable, steady income, and I understand some people could perceive it as possibly bearish, like, oh, these guys might not be dedicating all their time. That's absolutely not true. Me
Yeah,
and
it's one
Ray,
step at a time.
every waking minute we have, where it's about the project, and I think it's pretty evident. Anybody that's been present in the Discord on Twitter, like we dedicate every single waking moment, and like I said, even times when we're at work. But the other benefit is we have income that we can put into the project, and we are not relying on mint funds. We are not relying on, you know, a certain amount of money to be made. Everything with this project that we've had to get done, we have done already with, you know, the money we've invested. I feel it's nothing but bullish. Like if you have a founder of a project and they're not willing to invest in themselves and their own project, that's what's bearish to me. So me and Ray have both put in quite a bit of our own money to see this through, and I think it's a benefit for us both. We both have, you know, good full-time gigs with great hours where we can still dedicate, and you know, from 2 p.m. to the end of the evening to the project. And of course we have funds that we can also add to our resources from those jobs. So yeah, I think I would like to turn Web3 into full-time for sure at some point, but I just feel like, you know, until it's something that's truly reliable, it's just not something that's a viable option, or not even a smart option. I have seen and know people who during the bull market, they had projects and they were founders, and you know, they jumped at Web3 and, oh, I quit my job, and I assure you they regret it now. Right, like since the FTX crash and all that. But yeah, that's all I wanted. That's my piece. Ray can go ahead and give his part too.
I think Stealthy really hit the nail on the head there. Again, same with me. I'm my job is not really mindless per se. It's like it does require a lot of thinking. But I've been blessed enough to, I guess, be good at what I do, and also to be good enough that I'm able to work on my own. So I don't have to work with a partner, have somebody there that I always need to be with, which allows me the freedom also to have my headphones on, be on these spaces in the morning, be on these spaces during the day. If we need to have like a one at 10 a.m. Eastern, like Fatboy runs his, or 2 p.m. or 11 a.m. like Kabila runs theirs. It's something that we're both available to do. So in terms of balance, I think that we both have done that really well, and we dedicate, like Stealthy was saying, we dedicate every waking moment.
Yeah, it's almost not a balance. It's basically the scales are tipped to the project 99%.
Yeah, if anything, I got to rebalance my real work life.
Yeah.
We're both gonna get fired.
Yeah, it's like a shift, right? It's like, yeah, again, the more time you put in there, it's I don't know about your friends out there, because me, it really changed, and I can feel it. Yeah, like it's accelerating. Like I see a difference where, you know, I got friends since high school. I know them since 20 years. So here comes Grandpa, and there's really has been the shift where, you know, most of my friends right now are out here because there's no one I can talk to over there. I mean, they don't get it. They don't understand. The only thing they're going to talk to me about is FTX. and Bitcoin, and there's no conversation really. It's only keywords, right? So
yeah. When your non-crypto friends ask you condescendingly, "Hey, how's that crypto doing? Like, how's that?" That's when you buy. That's when you buy. Step on my door. And then when they ask you with curiosity, "Hey, so like, how do I buy Bitcoin?" That's when you sell. Those friends are actually a great buy and sell signal.
Wow. I never. Yeah, man.
Definitely do not get them in a safe moon with you. That's not the way to go.
No, for sure.
Unless you're trying to found a project with them, then absolutely get them in safe moon.
Yep, me and Ray are bonded by rug pulls and
fat L's, basically.
It happens.
I'll tell you,
game. It sucks.
You should have seen when me and him, we bought into a honeypot. Now, for those who don't know what a honeypot is, it's you basically can only buy the coin and you cannot sell it. There's no way to sell it, and so as a result, the price seemingly skyrockets because nobody can sell it. And so me and Ray had bought into a coin, and we legit thought that we were rich in about 5 minutes. We thought we made like 50,000 each. Then we found out we couldn't sell it. Ray was not happy.
It's part of it. Damn. Yeah, it's part of the game at the same time. Getting right, it sucks. It's really not fun. It's part of the game, but yeah, I mean, it felt 1,000%.
I absolutely believe it is a part of the game, at least right now. Prior to mass adoption, prior to the frictionless transactions where people don't even know they're using crypto or blockchain technology, et cetera, or hash graph technology. I think that's the cost of being early, right? Like, because only people that can get burned and stick through it are still here, and those are the people that deserve to reap the benefits when everybody else comes in, right? That's how I feel, and I agree with you. You have to be burned because it's not all peaches and roses, and I had to learn the hard way. And that's, I think that's how humans are, unfortunately. Like, you can tell somebody something a million times, but until they experience why you're telling them things, that's when they start to wake up. Some still don't, but like, I'm one of those that I had to learn the lesson a few times. Take profits, set exits, things like that. But of course, like you said, people will get burned, and I think it's part of the process. That's when you learn how to look for what's going to benefit you and what's not going to benefit you.
1,000%. Well, how did the because with both your jobs, because to me the like there was a spark. Okay, like when you say, especially when you say that you want to venture like full time into Web3, right? That's the dream, man. That's the dream where I could only do interviews, I can only do shows. You could do NFTs, for life. You would be flipping a part of whatever you would have, having fun, but at the same time you would have your project that would be self-sustainable, and you could run this full time. Where does, inside your Web2 or fiat mining gig, did the spark happen where you say, okay, that's enough, I'm gonna crypto NFT this thing, and I'm gonna jet? Because even right now, especially with the climate right now, and I'm talking about the economic climate that we're having right now, I mean, there's no way. There's no way out of this.
For me, it's really simple, man. Until I make, I would say, at least 20% more than my current full-time job per year reliably, then there's no sense to go full-time, especially not if I can dedicate the majority of my waking hours as it is to the project and to the ecosystem and to this life as a whole. Like, I obviously would prefer not to have to work my full-time job, but again, I am fortunate, and I'm comfortable working it as long as necessary, to ensure that it's not a good thing if I were to go full-time Web3 and then we experience crashes or things like that. Just crypto is amazing, it's a great opportunity, but I think, and this might be, it could be interpreted as demotivating, but I feel like too many people have that aspiration and don't really consider what it entails. Or maybe they take that leap prematurely. Like, not everybody is going to be able to work Web3 full time. I think it takes a certain mindset, and you have to really dedicate to it. And if you can't dedicate as much of your waking hours to it while you're already working. I just feel like there's a lot at stake, right? So it's definitely a dream I think many have, but just like anything, like everybody wants to be a millionaire, but it's a small percentage that achieve it. You have to be, you have to really work towards that and be realistic as well, right? So for me, it has to be reliable, and I have to be earning more than I'm currently making at my current job for me to make that transition. Yeah.
Ray, what about you?
I guess for me it's a little bit different, like being in this skilled trade, especially one that I think is at this point in time is going to be very, very sought after. I never really had that mindset of, you know, okay, this is it for me for Web 2, because at the end of the day, I do really love my job. I love what I do. Like I said, I'm good at it. And it is lucrative. So I haven't had that, that moment yet where I said, okay, this is the time, you know, full Web3, I don't have to do this anymore. But obviously the ideal plan here is to not have to destroy my body for X amount of years. You know, if we can get this to really run, and crypto takes off like we anticipate it's going to, then, you know, I would love to preserve my body, preserve my mind, enjoy my life as it was meant to be enjoyed, and with all the people that I would love to enjoy it with. I think that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, and I want to add real quick. I think that's the other thing, right? Like I think there's a lot of benefit to building in this current climate, right? Like things are pretty bad. They've been, I guess you could argue they've been worse maybe a few months ago, but at the end of the day, like the climate's no bueno. I think everybody can agree. And there's a benefit to that. Like we're building now in a bear, we're able to put everything that we could into this project because me and Ray are fortunate enough to have, you know, good full-time jobs. And I think it is going to be a realistic, like what I had said before, that's with the current climate, but I do think it's a very realistic dream to achieve once the bull run is here. But it's going to take, you know, a lot of work and dedication. And I don't think we're going to get a run back to all-time highs, maybe not until like the end of this year or maybe even next year. And it could be even longer, right? So I just think if you have the goal and the strength to stick it out until then it's certainly a viable option for anybody who's chasing that dream, right? For us, and you know, people like you who do content, I think content's supremely important, and especially when we get that mass adoption, that's gonna be the first thing people are gonna look for, right? Is like content and absorbing that and knowing where to go and how to do certain things. And so I definitely am bullish on crypto content. That's why I really like what you're doing. I really like what the All Kings are doing as well. So
big shout out to the All Kings.
Yeah, man. I think and of course, like people don't know like how much effort it takes on your part, right? Like you guys are really grinding it out in a bear market as well, just like project founders. So nothing but respect to you. I consider content creators like builders as well, right? Like anybody that's making or creating content, whether it be a founder or whether you do videos or whether you do threads like on Twitter, maybe you host spaces, like these are all going to be really, first of all, they're supremely important in moments like this, right? During bear markets where
they're
like you said it.
Yeah,
like you said, like you can't talk to your friends about this stuff. Like it's amazing. You could go into space and everybody's talking about, you know, things that we can all relate to. They can go and watch your YouTube videos and see what the market, and it's important that people like continue to do these things through a bear market because it gives people that confidence, right? That like there's people still here that are still, you know, like me, like that have hope. So yeah, it's very important, man. So I think it's definitely a dream people can achieve, but we're gonna have to stick through this, you know, keep doing what we're doing and just grinding it out through the bear. It's yeah, like I said, those are the ones who reap the rewards.
1000%, man. And I'll be here to push it with you, man, because again, I got nothing but respect for what you guys are doing, and I've been doing since the very beginning. Since you came in with a proper approach, in my opinion. You took your time, you surrounded yourself with the right people, you came in a transparent way too, man, because that's so crucial. You took your time, you invested inside the entire ecosystem. You guys are pretty much everywhere. Man, best of success leading on to March 30th and 31st out in Kabila. What time's the mint?
You know what? We didn't really lay that out yet, the exact time.
Okay, sorry. Okay, on those 2 days, then 30th and 31st.
It's gonna be. We know it's gonna be a 24-hour window for the for the pass holders.
Yeah.
And public will probably not have a window because I don't think it's gonna last very long.
Same.
But yeah, we'll it's gonna be a 24-hour window, so anybody of all time zones will definitely have their opportunity to mint at their convenience. Just the actual time mint opens, we haven't locked that in yet, but we will shortly. Well, that might come out on our Friday spaces. I think we can have that information by then.
It was a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure because we never really talked aside from a couple of times in spaces and chatted inside Discord. I discovered 2 amazing guys. Man, best of success. You guys will stray. You're already striving, and man, the mint's going to be amazing. Thanks.
Likewise, man. We're really honored to be here, and just know, man, you had your reputation preceded you because everybody was asking about you and posting your emojis and stuff in the Discord. So yeah, man, we're really glad that you found your way in, and we couldn't be happier to have you as part of the community. And again, honored to be your guest, man.
Hell yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Have a great evening and a great week. I'll see you around.
Likewise. Thank you, brother.
Take care, bro.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ray and Ninja, thank you so much for your presence today on the show. I enjoyed my time. This was not even work. Best of success for this week. You guys got it on lock with music. I think, you're doing amazing thing, just bringing everyone together with this. At the same time, all those spaces that you're doing, you understand communities AF. Big respect, a big shout out, big success. Take care.